gentlemen, and welcome to Birmingham, Alabama. We're live at Protective Stadium. Brian Bailey, Ken Watlington. This is the Birmingham Bowl pregame show as we get you set for East Carolina, Coastal Carolina, and coming up in about 79 minutes.
79 minutes, ready to go. I tell you what, bowl games are great. You find out about them about a month ahead of time, and then you have to have the build-up and get set to go, and then you arrive at the bowl site, and it's just a lot of fun.
Let's set the stage for you, what we're going to bring you over the next half hour. Of course, we're going to hear from both teams about what's going to happen on this field later tonight. But the Pirates also spent Christmas here in Birmingham, and we were along for the ride. We'll show you some of the things they did outside of practice to kind of keep their spirits high this year during the holidays when they had to be away from their families.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you're away from your family for Christmas, but the Pirate players, Mike Houston has always said, we're a family, and when you spend Christmas together, that's what you get.
We'll also look back at the last time the Pirates played in a bowl game, which was here in Birmingham. But first, let's hear from both teams.
Let's hear from both teams. East Carolina comes into this matchup at 7-5. Coastal Carolina is 9-3. The Pirates made a bowl last year but didn't get to play because of COVID problems with Boston College, and they're not taking today for granted at all.
You know, it's a great time of the year, and we're honored to be representing East Carolina University.
Ready to lock in for the game and get ready. It's my last game, so definitely got to go out with a bang.
It's something that, we came in with a goal in mind is to get us back to a bowl game, but also to win the bowl game. So we're here and might as well win it now.
Standing in the way of a Pirate Bowl win is 9-3 Coastal Carolina, the runner-up in the Sun Belt. Chanticleers boast a high-powered offense, but it's Coastal's defense that's on the mind of their interim head coach and how they'll stop the Pirate offense.
They got a lot of weapons. I probably don't have enough time to list all of them. Running backs, extremely good. Quarterbacks, man, he seems like he's been there 20 years. He knows he can do it all. He makes the throws. What I see in him, he gets them in there all the right plays. He makes a lot of good checks. The receivers are huge. O-line's big. It's going to be a challenge for us defensively.
And we'll talk more about Coastal Carolina and their quarterback coming up in just a second. But this is a really should be competitive matchup.
Yeah, both teams have great offenses. It may come down to the team that plays defense that wins this football game because both defenses have struggled.
Both defenses have struggled. You mentioned Coastal Carolina gave up 47 points just 2 games ago. If they do that to ECU, they might lose.
Yeah, exactly right, because East Carolina can get it cranking on offense. I just talked to Coach Houston a few minutes ago, and he said, I don't know how well we'll play because it's been 31 days, but we're going to go after it because our guys are ready.
The Pirates have been practicing in Alabama, but because of the cold weather over the Christmas weekend, they moved the practice indoor on Saturday and Christmas Sunday to Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama's indoor facility. A great way to stay warm while working to get better, but also a chance to experience the home of the 18-time national champion Crimson Tide.
Very fortunate to have the relationships with the staff at the University of Alabama for them to allow us to use their indoor practice facility this weekend, and just really grateful for them and the hospitality shown towards us. And I think our guys will get a kick out of that, and it'll be a great experience for the kids.
It was good, just going into an inside facility, just looking at things that we may have in the future. You never know. It's just different facilities, different things than East Carolina, But SEC is different, So it was pretty, pretty good. It felt good practicing in the indoor facility.
Back here at Protective Stadium, just up in the press box, Jeff Charles, the voice of the Pirates, will call his 15th bowl game for ECU tonight.
And he's called some good ones, including the magical Peach Bowl after the 1991 football season. Charles says he believes this game, tonight's bowl game, could be something special as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think everybody's excited about it. You've got 2 regional teams that have never played before, and they're separated by just 3.5 hours. And it's a great quarterback matchup, the marquee matchup with Holt Nailers and Grayson McCall. So I think there are a lot of storylines going into this game. It should be a very competitive game.
And we cannot wait. We're now less than 75 minutes away from kickoff of the Birmingham Bowl, but still ahead on our pregame show. We'll recap the Pirates' road to Birmingham. A look back at the first half of the season is next.
And plus, our Garrett Short will take a look at defensive standout Miles Berry, how the senior linebacker is ready for his last game here in Birmingham at the bowl game. All right, welcome back to Birmingham as we get you set for tonight's bowl game, East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. And right now we want to take a look back at how the Pirates got to this point.
Yeah, right now we're recapping the first half of the season, the first 6 games of the regular season. That included 4 home games to kick things off, including the opener against a heated in-state rival.
A record crowd of 51,711 at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium to open the season against NC State on September 3rd. Pirates rallied from a 21-7 halftime deficit after Jaira Wilson picked off a Devin Leary pass and returned it 34 yards. Rajai Harris scored 4 plays later from the 3 to make it 21-20 after a missed PAT. Pirates would force a 3-and-out and get the ball back, but Owen Daffer's 41-yard field goal attempt sailed right in the final seconds, leaving ECU heartbroken and on the end of a 21-20 loss. Week 2 saw a visit from Old Dominion. Keaton Mitchell's 81-yard dash early in the fourth quarter delivered a staggering blow to the Monarchs, who were coming off an upset of Virginia Tech. ECU outscored ODU 23-7 after clinging to a 16-14 lead in the third quarter en route to a 39-21 victory. First ever meeting between in-state foes ECU and Campbell was on the Week 3 slate. Keaton Mitchell ran for 185 yards in this score, but the Camels led 10-7 early before the Pirates rolled off 42 unanswered points. Holt Nailers threw for 263 yards and 3 TDs. Pirates win 49-10 to move to 2-1. Fourth straight home game to start the season is the conference opener against Navy. Tied 3-3 entering the fourth quarter, things escalated in a hurry. Following an ECU fumble, Navy took their first lead of the night here. With 8 minutes left, transfer wide receiver Isaiah Winstead steps up. The former Toledo Rocket showed off the speed as he brought this 67-yard touchdown to the house. We'd go to overtime, tied at 17. In the second OT, Daniel Davies hits the field goal from 29 yards out to make it 23-20 Navy, so ECU would look to match it. Kicker Owen Daffer was the hero at Navy last year. This year's a different story. He misses from 37 yards, and the Pirates fall 23-20 to drop to 0-1 in the American. First road game of the season was against South Florida, but in Boca Raton due to Hurricane Ian. The Conley connection shine. Quarterback Holt Nailers and wide receiver C.J. Johnson, high school teammates at D.H. Conley, teamed up for 4 touchdowns, 3 in a decisive first half as the Pirates seized control early in a 48-28 American Athletic Conference win over the Bulls. Week 6 was a trip to the Big Easy to face Tulane. Pirates with too many critical mistakes against a quality team playing on its home turf. Holt Nailers threw a pair of second-half interceptions and a 24-9 setback to the Green Wave. The Pirates wrapped up the first half of the season at 3-3 and 1-2 in the American.
And some quirks in that first half of the season for ECU. Obviously, they could have won that very first game against NC State, the first of 4 straight home games. You've covered a lot of ECU football over the years. They spent the entire month of September in Greenville.
And that was unprecedented. I think it took its toll on the team, the fans, and everybody. 4 home games in a row is tough.
They had a bunch of road games, including one that ended up being a kind of neutral site game because of the hurricane. They had to play in Boca Raton.
Now, Boca Raton, and that was a scary weekend because we didn't know if they would get to play because of the hurricane situation and all the problems in Florida. The game was moved from Tampa to Boca Raton, and the Pirates played really well. I remember those long passes. C.J. Johnson, after the death of his grandmother, and how well he played in that game.
And the first half of the season, Game 6, wrapped up at Tulane with a loss where the Pirates were pretty competitive. Couple of turnovers, a little did we know that Tulane would go on to win the American.
And you know, the Pirates haven't turned the football over in their last 6 games, and that's really one of the reasons they've been able to win the games that they've been able to win. But that was a very difficult game because it was a game that East Carolina really thought they had a chance to win.
And we'll show you the last half of the season coming up in just a second. There are so many storylines for this game here tonight. One of them, it's not only the final game of the year, but it's also the final game of a few careers today. And for the Pirate faithful, a few big names will be called on for the final time.
5th-year senior linebacker Miles Berry, one of those players. It's his final game with East Carolina, and he wants his final memory to be a good one.
While the crowd roars and the game clock ticks by, Tuesday's game will be a lot more than a football game for Miles Berry.
It's going to be a melting pot of emotions. My main thing is I'm just going to take it all in. I'm going to do a 360 of the field, walk around the field, really look all my teammates in the eye and tell them I'm grateful for them.
The Birmingham Bowl will be a bittersweet farewell, a goodbye to his school and to his extended family, Pirate Nation, who've watched him grow from a 17-year-old freshman into a man.
on and off the field. I've grown as a person, and my time here at ECU is can't really put it into words, but I'll say I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful to call myself a Pirate.
As a fifth-year senior, Barry has helped the program turn things around, and he knows Tuesday's game is about a lot more than himself. It's about all Pirates who have helped get ECU back on track, and for last year's seniors who never had the chance to play for a bowl win.
The moment and the game being taken away from us last year, and seeing the hurt and just the disappointment on the seniors' faces that knew they wouldn't be able to get a chance to play again, we kind of feel that we owe them something. You know, we owe ECU a win. We owe Pirate Nation a win.
The Pirates have all the motivation they need. Now it's time to play, win, and go down in ECU history.
Coastal Carolina is a great team. They have athletes all across the board and all over the roster. So being able to match up against them in a Birmingham Bowl, in a postseason bowl, is we want to show that we are a great team also.
Barry and the Pirates have the opportunity ECU has waited years for. All they have to do is take it.
Still ahead here on the official television station for the East Carolina Pirates, we're going back to 2015, the last time ECU played here in Birmingham. In fact, it was the last time the Pirates took the field for a bowl game, period.